Yo. Welcome to Powers Plays Palace, man. We back again for another day, man. Man, what a day. What a day. It's been an interesting week, actually. So let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. The chart for yesterday. So on yesterday, um, what we had was the previous day, there was a lot of big movement on the spot. It went down something like $20, $26. So there was a lot of movement on the spot, and it set the stage for a whole realm of things that could possibly happen. But those movements had a major impact, and so um, we were looking for a breakout long above 735.74. And if it went past 775, 35.74, was looking at target 740, 743, and 746. And if it went down and did a support level at 728.50, we were looking for a possible pushback up to 732.50, 735.75, 74, and 740. And if we got a rejection on 735.74, we was looking for 732, 728.50, and 725. And if we had a breakdown short below 728.50, we had 725, 722.60, and 718. And those were what we were looking at, in terms of our movements on yesterday. So that was based off of what happened the previous day. So let's look at the chart from yesterday, man. Let's see what went down. All right, so as you can see, yesterday SPY opened up right here, 733.39. Went back to 7. It went all the way up to 737.38. That was the high of the day for yesterday. Once it hit that level, it pulled back, and it started to pull back. And once it started, it just pretty much pulled back all day. It went from 738 all the way down here to 725.33, which was the low of the day. And so we talking about a $13 move down on the SPY, and that was a all day move at 738.38 number. Where we seen that before? Oh, here it is. Is that Monday? Was that low of the day Monday? It was around the low of the day for Monday. Yep, pre-market low. So that was for Monday. So that's where it established that high of the day. And to me, look at a bigger time frame. I thought that's what I would possibly see right there. That it continued into that kind of downward push down, and it's starting to break through different levels. And so we'll see what happens. But if this pullback is anything, I showed y'all yesterday some few gaps that were coming. This is way in the sixes, so we can look around looking for gaps. And the reason I'm looking for gaps, because I know that once it gets into those gaps, it usually fills them up. So it filled this gap up over here from that was May 15th. So we'll see what happens. But if you can see this morning, you can see we got a gap up. Let's see, it closed the end of the night at 723.04, and it opened this morning at 730.03. So we had a gap up. So we definitely want to see how that goes. That's going to be a factor possibly if this thing starts to reject off this pre-market low and start to push down. It probably closed that gap. So that's something to look out for. But let's get back to the chart here. As you can see, that's what's going on. But that was the plays from yesterday. So let's look at what we got going on for today in the chart. There it is. This is the chart for today. What we have here is we have a nice little range here. So very interested in seeing how everything goes. But what we're gonna be looking for is a key battleground between 731.85 and 729.75. And like I said, what happened with that was when I first made this chart, the pre-market low was at 729. And what happened is, since then, it actually dropped to 723. So we had to make a few adjustments. I want y'all to get a good look at this chart here. So what I do, once I get my level set, I get this image created of this chart. And so that's what actually happened right there. And so what happened was the levels actually changed, because right when I was getting ready to start making the video, the actual pre-market low changed. So give me 1 second here. Let me make a quick adjustment to my levels. So, all right, let's look at it. So what we have here is, if it breaks above this 731.85 and it holds, then we'll be looking at a bullish upward push, and we're looking at 735, 738.45, and 742. But if we get a pullback before it goes to that 29.75, 729.75, then our targets will be the 731.85, 735, and then 738.45. Now, if we get a rejection off of a push up to 731.85, then we'll be looking for 730, 729, and 727. The breakout short that's on here, what that means is if it starts to break below the pre-market low before the market actually goes, and right at the bat it starts to go down, then you want to be targeting 727, 725.33, and 722. And 725.33 is actually where the market has moved to since I created the this particular chart. So that's actually where the market actually moved down to a little bit. But we're gonna see, because that's the pre-market low from yesterday. But we're gonna see how this thing reacts if it gets down in that level and it closes this gap, because there's a gap here between 730.06 and 723.01, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens if it gets into that area. So I got 725.33 as a target because it is the low of the day from yesterday. But if it breaks down below this 729.75, then that's where it will be. And sorry for misspeaking on that. It didn't move to 725.33. That's one of the areas I really think it could hit, and mainly because we have this gap up right here that occurred this morning. And I'm telling you, man, it usually closes these gaps, man, if it gets into it. So if it gets down in here, man, I can see it closing this gap, and that's where that 725.33 comes in. This yellow line for the low of the day from yesterday. So we'll see how that goes, and then and we'll try to go from there. But those are the levels for today. And if the SPY is moving like it's been moving, man, you got a chance to have a great move. And let's see what happens from here. Stay disciplined. Do not get outside of your normal trade, and just do the best you can with your levels. If you make a bad trade, get out. Be disciplined, man. Don't waste your day or your money, man. And that's where we at. This is not financial advice, but this is some idea of somebody who trade every day. But for today, take your time, do what you need to do, and then we'll go from there. Do not rush it. Just take your time, be patient, because there's some big moves on the SPY. If you get going in a good direction, just play it and take your profits and keep it moving. But that's it for today, man. Power plays palace, man. We out of here, man.